I was at a place and I was waiting in line. And one thing I noticed is that everybody, everybody waiting in line was looking at their phones. And I was like, oh my God, like at first it seemed just normal, right? But then when you really stop and look at it, I was like, everybody is on their phones, and including me. And the way people go up and they talk to the person, the person behind the counter, and the way the person's like, "Hi, hello, how you doing today?" The way they talk with that accent, they talk with that voice, that they all talk with the same type of tonality, and then the way people just kind of like walk in line and they say the same things. Hi, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Knowing damn well they're probably not doing good. But they have to say it because it's socially acceptable to be positive, but it's not socially acceptable to be negative. People want to hear about positivity all the time, even though we live in a negative world, which is absolutely crazy and is absolutely insane. But this world that we live in, it's a very strange place. It's a place where I know my soul, it doesn't feel like it belongs. My soul and my spirit, it feels like it belongs in another dimension. I really feel like I don't belong. I don't fit in nowhere. I don't really get along with anybody. I like being a loner. I'm kind of a lone wolf, because this world kind of forced me to be, and I don't really trust people easily. Like, it takes a lot to gain my trust, right? And very few people gain my trust, like very few. And I keep my circle small. But in this world, you're going to learn that sometimes even your own family will be some of your biggest enemies. You'll learn that when you don't have anything and you're down and out, there's very few people who are going to be there for you with their, you know, um, with their cool personalities that are able to help you out, help you get on your feet, or just kind of keep you afloat mentally so you can survive. So when I was in this line, I was kind of observing people, and then as I was walking out, I was kind of just like looking at people waiting at the bus stop, and people jogging around the park, and it looked and it felt like a simulation. It felt like the way like certain people just like running around, walking their dogs or whatever, like jogging around the park, people waiting by the bus stop, people crossing the street, and it just when I really looked at it, it reminded me of Grand Theft Auto. Like it didn't see something felt off. It didn't seem real. And I don't know if it's because of all the depression that I'm under, all the stressing, and how like I'm in a very egregious position in my life right now. You know, um, I'm really going through it, and there's like bigger changes that's coming up in my life, and it seems like guys like us, every time there's a big change, it's always something negative and never something positive. That's how I know it's some evil demiurge that's messing with me, point blank, period. I'm being targeted, by this evil being, and it doesn't want me to spread the truth about the loose farm and negative energetic manifestational frequency. But I have to tell the truth no matter what, because the truth has to carry on, man. Truth has to carry on. But the way, like basically, is when I was noticing about people is how everybody's kind of like what's the word, like I don't want to say domesticated, but like everybody's been trained by the system in a manner that they can just maintain the system without the system constantly being there. But also the system is also constantly watching. I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you look at the like a lot of stoplights and stuff, there's cameras that are installed. Like almost at every intersection there's cameras, and it's like, wow, it wasn't like this in the 90s. Like in the 90s, it was like you would rarely see like a bunch of cameras at one place like that, like unless you're around government buildings or something like that. But now it's everywhere. It's just like China. They talk about China, how China's so authoritarian, and it's a dictatorship and this, that, and the third. But the United States also has a proliferation of monitoring equipment on the American people as well. That like the United States, like just like China spies on its masses, the United States spies on its masses as well. I remember Edward Snowden was talking about this, how they were spying on us and watching us, So the question is, what are they so afraid of? What are they so afraid of? What do we contain inside of our souls? What do we contain inside of our hearts and our minds and our spirits? What do we contain that these people have to constantly watch us and monitor us, and they have to constantly, just try to be affiliated with us in some certain manner or fashion, just to try to feed off of our energy, because we're real divine sparks and divine lights. And these parasites, they try to feed off of us, and it's evil. You know, just really think about it. You know, like in this world, you're going to see the most evil people get rewarded, and you're going to see the most kind-hearted, nice people get totally thrown to the side. How is that fair? How is that justice? How is that right? How is that something that you want to support? Like this evil system that we're under, it doesn't care about the people. It doesn't care about people that don't have anything. It doesn't care about people that are struggling financially, mentally, emotionally. Like if you're a man in this position, you're going to have to self-medicate, whatever that means, whether it's playing video games or staying up to 4 a.m., eating Doritos and, drinking Sprite and Mountain Dew or root beer, whatever, or like whatever you, like, pick the flavor of the poison, right? And for some guys, that's just going to have to be their lives, unfortunately. And after a certain age, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to school, man, and get my degree. And it's like, well, how old are you? And it's like, if you're a certain age, like I would never, ever, ever discourage anybody from their dreams. I'm all about following your dreams, but sometimes it's just like, after a while, it's like that ship has sailed. And even me, like a lot of my dreams and ambitions and what I dream of, like it's more than likely too late. Like I'll never give up. Whenever I'm in a position, I'll focus and I'll keep on trying to make it. But I just feel so defeated on the inside. When you're an older person and you're trying to win in like a young man's game, and you're an old person, it's very difficult. But at the same time, I believe having heart, having soul beats everything. I believe a lot of these people are Hylics and they're NPCs, and a lot of these people, they don't have real divinity and real soul. So even though I'm older, even though I'm an old man, walking with a cane, etc., etc., I can still spit. I can, like, I'll still rap. Like I'll still go hard. I know. I'm still new to making beats, but I'll try to make a melody or something, like I'll try my hardest, I even though I say I want to write a book, and I never really sit down and finish, I just start a bunch of books and stuff like that. And the reason being, it's hard to focus in depression. It's hard to focus your mind when your mind is searching for a reason to be happy. So you go to your copes, you go to your video games, you go to your favorite food, you go to like just, different types of things, and it's very interesting how this world is designed and how this world is orchestrated in a very evil, sophisticated way. Like it's like if you really look at everything, it's designed to deceive you. They tell you you have to come and you have to work this job so you can buy shelter and have food. Meanwhile, you got people like in what's that island called? North Sentinel Island. Those people don't pay any bills. They got food and they got shelter, and they be there for thousands of years. So somehow the people got tricked into believing that they need government support to have food and shelter, because whoever controls your food and shelter controls your time. So if you're in a government system and an infrastructure that implements, mandatory bills and mandatory this, and money automatically comes outside your paycheck. Let's say you got something that you wanted to save up, but you got bills, and you have the bills on automatic pay or whatever. You go to check your account and your account's already empty. You're like, damn. And then hell, you thought you have at least $70 to get a video game or something, or or a pie at the store or something. And then that's when you just get depressed. And like the system's designed to make you feel that way. It's designed to make you stressed. The system's designed to make you feel small, to make you feel unimportant. And these negative energies and these negative emotions, they accumulate and they formulate these low vibrational frequencies, and these frequencies allow you to be susceptible to evil. and the forces of evil. So it's why you got to try to be happy. But the problem is, it's hard to be happy when you don't have no reason to really be happy. Yeah, sure, some people may be like, oh, you know, oh, be happy that you live in America and you have access to this and access to this. It's like, do you understand? We live in a prison planet, meaning that in order to gain access to a lot of these things, you need resources, right? You need connections. You need the right people around you. You need a team. And a lot of us, we don't have, the right type of people around us. We don't have pretty much anybody that can show us the way out of this hole that we find ourselves in. Because it's dark, guys. It's terrible to be in this position. It's horrible. I know a lot of us, we tend to not want to be in reality. I find myself doing that as well. I find myself not wanting to be in this reality, meaning that, I like watching animes and pretending I'm in the anime world, or playing certain video games and pretending I'm in those worlds, and wishing I can just teleport to those dimensions and live there instead. Like certain animes, I wish I could just live there instead and get superpowers, and just like, I'd rather live in that cartoon world and that cartoon dimension than live in this hell realm that we find ourselves in. And that says a lot about this world then, because there's billions of people, and billions of people are in poverty. Did you know that? There's billions of people around the world that are in poverty, that are starving, that don't have clean water. Meanwhile, you have people that are spending $350 million for a yacht, $30 million for some type of private airplane, $25 million, for a house in Calabasas in California, you know, and it's like, how do you have that much money and wealth, and there's people out there starving and you don't care? Like, to me, like that's how I know, like, it irks me, and that's called a righteous anger, and it's indicative of a divine spark, because the divine spark gets mad when real righteousness is being harmed and being, you know, harassed. And in this world, you always see, notice this, in this world, you always see the people that do right, the people that are cool. You always see these people getting the short end of the stick. And it's not right. We live in an upside down world. And it's usually the people around you, your family, your associates, your friends, that cause you the most harm. Because these people have a direct effect on your confidence and a direct effect on your mind and mentality. When you have everybody around you that's supportive, and they support your dreams, they support your endeavors, they really support you as a person, that changes everything, man. That literally changes everything. When you have people that actually care about you. But when you have people that don't care about you, they don't care about your dreams, they don't care about your aspirations, hell, they feel like you'll never make it. Hell, they secretly want you to never ever make it, because when you make it, you expose that, that they were the ones that didn't have the talent, or didn't have the capacity, or the tenacity, or the veracity to be great. Because make no mistake, some of the greatest people, went through a lot of things in life, but also they were allowed to make it eventually by the demiurge, And I noticed certain guys like us, something as simple as just going to the store, going to GameStop like back in the days and trying to get a video game, I haven't been to GameStop in years. I don't know if GameStop's even around, like how, like, for real, but like back in the days, you go to GameStop, and then like you go there, and then all of a sudden the person in front of you get the last copy of the video game. It's like, wow. Or McDonald's has the shake. It's called the Shamrock Shake. It's like this green leprechaun shake or something like that. It's one of my favorite things. Where, like, if you can find a McDonald's that has it, and then usually if you find a McDonald's that has it, the ice cream machine is broke. It's like, really? How does $1 billion company keep having broken ice cream machines. Like that's just like after a while, it's pure incompetence, you know. Like you have an item on your menu and it's just like but yeah, but like something like that, copes like that that make you happy. The demiurge will find those copes and then make sure you don't get them or make sure it's difficult so when you get it, you're still angry about all the crap you have to go through in order to get it in the first place. Like there's some I really believe that like and this is me personally. I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anybody like that. I want you to come to the conclusion that I came to. Look at your life and look what you go through and see if there's a corresponding sequence. See if there was a God or there was a demiurge that he's messing with you on purpose because there's certain events that seem too perfect that produce a certain energy at a certain frequency at a certain vibrational field that when this is produced, these beings are attracted to it and they feed off of it. And you're going to notice these things in life like, hey, that didn't happen. That wasn't no accident. Why did that happen? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? You're going to start noticing it, right? Like this world is it's a place that rewards predatory beings. It rewards the lions. It rewards the hyenas. It rewards the tigers. It rewards the bears. It rewards the Bigfoots. It rewards the werewolf. It rewards the skinwalker. It rewards, all the mythical creatures. It rewards the monsters. It rewards giants. It rewards aliens. It rewards, just all types of unspeakable creatures and monstrosities. Um, it rewards that. But the people, the innocent people by the village who just, planting their herbs and planting their crops and minding their business, they're tending to the cows and tending to the horses. And, they made them a nice little tranquil, quaint little village in the middle, of a stream or by a stream. And then all of a sudden the monsters come out of nowhere and they attack, and they just decimate the whole the village and destroy it, and tear it asunder. And for that to even be allowed to happen just tells you something about this world. It tells you something about this realm. It's like, why is that even allowed? Like, why is such destruction and such corruption even allowed? Like, that shouldn't even been given a correspondence to even exist. That's why I don't know, man. It's like, I just wanted to be successful in what I wanted to be. And was that so much to ask for? Was it such a problem that the demiurge didn't want me to make it in what I wanted to make it in, even though I had the capacity to make it in? I had the talent to make it in. I just didn't have the connections. And I seen all these other people get the connections and they make it. They get the fame, they get the fortune, they get the girls, they get the cars, they get everything that I could imagine, man. You don't think I want to be a multi-millionaire? You don't think I want to be in a nice house? You don't think I want to have the cars and the girls and everything I can imagine? Even a private chef that can cook me whatever I desire at any time if I want? Like, you don't think I want a mansion with an elevator in it? Like, I'm serious. Once I seen it, I could never unsee it. Once I used to watch what was it called? MTV Cribs? Yeah, MTV Cribs. And I know a lot of it kind of was like fake or whatever. But when I used to watch stuff like that, it inspired me. When I used to watch MTV Cribs, BNT, like BET Uncut, when those, the more, let's just say night friendly videos would come on, and I used to watch that stuff and I'd be so inspired. Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get all the girls. I'm gonna get the car. Buy my mama a house. I'm gonna live a good life and do this, that, and the third. And and then the years pass and the demiurge is on your ass, and you never make it. And then people hear your art and they're like, "Damn, you're actually good." And it's like these people are like, it's crazy how these people are saying I'm good now, but I'm not even half as talented as I was 20 years ago. I was way better, way better, you know. But I went through so much that I just got depressed. Like, I'm a totally different person than I was a couple of decades ago. Like, I'm totally different, Like I'm not like. I'm not disgusted in myself. I'm disgusted in the demiurge, you know, like point blank period, because that's the one who's behind it. That's the one who orchestrates and plans all these plots, that orchestrates all this evil and wickedness that's designed to take us down. You know, I bet right now we probably got evil spirits staring at us. And I don't mean to scare you. Like, you know, I'm not trying to scare you, but right now in the room or wherever you're at, there's probably evil demonic beings that look scary. If you're able to see them with your natural eye, they probably scare the hell out of you. But they're probably in the room watching you right now, ready to loose you, ready to make some strange sound, to make some creepy stuff. It's just like, I'm tired of that. You know, and once you understand about these entities and their different shapes and their shape shifting and their evilness, you start to see the world for what it is. It's like you're constantly being watched, you're constantly being monitored, you're being monitored by the government, you're being monitored by evil interdimensional beings, you're being monitored by an evil God who's just watching you so you can never escape to the paroma. You're constantly being watched. And that's not normal. It's not normal to be watched all the time. It's not normal to be constantly monitored. You know, like back in the days, you know, there used to be a thing called freedom, right? Well, um, eh, for a certain, yeah, let's just say for a certain demographic, that was 100% true. But for others with, let's just say, a difference in skin color configuration, let's just say, uh, history and reality is different than history written in the books. Let's just say that. But yeah, man, you know, it's really hard to it's hard to think. It's hard to formulate any type of plan to try to escape this when you're depressed and tired. You know, certain people have to work like 3 jobs. You know, they got to do DoorDash. They got to work at a warehouse at Amazon. Then they got to work here. They got to do 3 different jobs just to get paid enough to get a cheeseburger, you know, and a soda pop. And it's like, really? A cheeseburger and a soda? Like, this is all we can afford? Like, 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 that's like, and that's after you pay all your bills and stuff. It's like, no, why don't they like make like some type of, I don't know, just make like some type of space center, like a real, like make something like even if it's like the real stuff, because I already know about the secret space fleet and all that. I know NASA and them be hiding secrets and all that, but why don't they just make something where it's like a big construction project and you can get millions of men around the world, build some type of new I don't know, some type of railway system that flies in the sky. I don't know, make something interesting, make something cool. And like people on the ground just build like some type of little receiver or something for them so they can fly in the air with like magnets, like giant magnets or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box. I just want something cool. I want something new. Like to be in this dimension, it's like being a goldfish inside of an aquarium. That's what it feels like to be inside this realm. It feels like we're goldfish inside the aquarium, and whoever controls the aquarium can do whatever they want with us. And I don't like that feeling of being that vulnerable to a being that can know my thoughts, can watch me, can send spirits, monitoring spirits, like can watch me even in my room. Like they could be, you know, wherever you're at. You know, you could be at the park. You can be in your room. You can be in the kitchen. You can be in the bathroom. You can be in a shower. You can be in the woods going hunting. You know, good luck with that, you know, but you can be anywhere. You can have monitoring spirits. You can have evil beings that are watching you, plotting, seeing how to ruin your life, right? And I don't know, man. I really feel like this world is it's just not a good place, man. And I know a lot of us, you know, we have to be in the proximity of the enemy, right? We have to be in the proximity of certain people that just don't like us. And we got to deal with that every single day. And we don't have enough money to escape. That's the worst thing. Is like, why would a loving, caring God allow money to rule so much of our happiness? Wouldn't a loving, caring God allow you to use your natural talents and abilities to climb to the top? They tell you that's possible, but then you do it in reality and it's not possible. Everybody that made it to the top, they had help. They had connections. They had all types of friends and businesses and associates. And it's just pure nepotism at some point. At some level, it comes to at some level, it comes down to who you know, who's going to let you through that door and let you in that elevator and allow you to ascend to the top and ascend to the heavens where you can have just success and success and success. you know. And even that's not guaranteed because of the demiurge, because the demiurge can choose to just to toy with you. He can allow you to get so far and then take it all back just to loose farm you. So it's really crazy, man. Like when you really look into this world and when you really look into this life, like all the things when you really examine it, it's so crazy. You actually have people that don't know how it feels like to be poor, making laws and rules and regulations that govern the poor. How does that make sense? When these people are like they don't know how it feels like to to starve, to not be able to eat what they want, to have to eat, ramen noodles all the time, and that's extremely unhealthy. But people are forced to eat that every day because they don't have any money. They don't get paid enough, and then you got a budget. Budget what? Getting what, $2,500 a month, and you think you're balling? You know, like, like really? Do you know how high rent is? How high food is? And for a grown man, 2,500 or 2,200 a month, we need more than that. We're trying to live. We're not trying to barely survive. I think a man today, to really be happy, especially if you got a girl in your life and you like going places, and I think you probably should be able to make at least $3,000 to $5,000 a month if you can make that, right? But the problem is, what job is paying us enough where we can get 3 to 5 grand every month? It's like, so it's now you got to create your own business, because eventually, if you get your business popping, hopefully you can get money like that. But the problem is, the demiurge controls it. The demiurge controls whether we get success or not, and when especially when you have a history of having negative events happen in your life, man, it's exhausting. I'm mentally exhausted. I'm spiritually exhausted. I'm emotionally exhausted. Sometimes I do find myself just staring at the wall sometimes. You know what I mean? Like honestly. And like I'm staring at the walls and I'm just thinking of like, damn, what if my grandma was still here? What if my uncle would have never passed away? What if my aunt would have never passed away? How would life look differently now that, I actually make videos and people actually watch and actually watch my videos, which is interesting because I would have never dreamed of this a couple of years ago. Like just happened out of nowhere. So like I appreciate you guys that watch my videos, and especially when you watch now. I think we're about 27 minutes in, and like a lot of people watch my videos to the end. So I appreciate you guys that watch my videos this long and listen to me, and I appreciate you guys, man. Like yeah, you guys, man, like you guys pretty much keep it real, tell me about your stories and stuff like that. And it's interesting, man, how a lot of us, we have a lot of things in common, a lot of things in common. And a lot of people, like I met some intelligent people on here. I met some of the most intelligent people I've ever met. And these people are intelligent and they don't deserve to be in the position that they're in. But unfortunately, they're in the position. And I think that's been orchestrated. And it's just like the realm is so upside down. It's like whenever you want something to happen, whenever you want something to happen, the realm goes out of its way to make sure that it doesn't happen, and you got to understand it's carefully crafted. So sometimes you will get your way. Sometimes you do get your favorite food. Sometimes you get your video game. Sometimes things go your way, and that's allowed to happen. It's not going your way because we live in a good realm. It's the same way as when people feed a tiger through the gate. They get a large, maybe like a lamb, a pig, or a chicken or something like that. They get a large leg and they throw it over the gate, and the tiger rushes to it and eats it. And the tiger is happy in that moment, you know, just don't get close to it, But it's like people, there's a new NBA finals coming out. Everybody, yeah, they're watching that, they're paying attention to that. But people are not paying attention to the spiritual aspects. They're not paying attention to the change, to the invisible change that govern them, and these things, these beings and entities that are governing us from the shadows. The world is not ran by humans. The reason why all these wars and all these things are happening is because you have beings that are not humans, they're anti-humans, and they're running the world, and A lot of them have the ability to shapeshift, and they have secret cloning labs and all types of things underground. And like the CIA, the FBI, a lot of these things are connected, and they infiltrated all of it. They control it all. It's the reason why you're wondering how come the government's doing this and not helping the people. They're not helping the people because they're not put there to help the people. They're put there to loose you. They're put there to put you in a low vibrational frequency, to put you in poverty, to put you in a constant state of anxiety, to put you in a constant state of worry. Everything is orchestrated and it's being done on purpose. It's being done on purpose because they want us to feel worthless. They want us to feel low. That's why you got to believe in yourself and you got to try to follow your dreams and ambitions.